3 people have been charged with Gilbert Goon beatings that are not related to Preston Lord, but these are also members of that street gang, the Gilbert Goons. So they've been charged in this. They were charged back in January. They were some of the early arrests when finally Gilbert decided let's start arresting people for beating randos up. Nice job on that. So they got these 3 guys, and these 3 guys have now talked with their lawyers. Their lawyers have talked to prosecution. The wheels of justice have turned slowly, but here we are. They cut a deal. They're going to plead in front of the judge, and we've got a deal on the books. The deal is, in the case of a couple of beatings, one which reportedly where brass knuckles were used, they were charged on counts of They were charged on counts of aggravated assault. And they pled guilty now to aggravated assault. Typical sentence on aggravated assault, which, by the way, I looked it up as a class 2 felony. So it's below murder, but it's still a pretty bad felony. Typically, a sentence of 1 year, which I thought, this seems light on a class 2 felony, but it could be up to 5 years. Attorneys on both sides, however, agreed to place many of these 3 on supervised probation and to complete 100 hours of community service. So that struck me as odd that here we've got a couple of guys, 3 guys, 2 of them have pled guilty to aggravated assault, will get supervised probation and 100 hours of community service. The last guy, he has been involved in a couple of other ones, so I don't know. He may not get that same light sentence because he got arrested for another beating as well. Yeah. So he may be habitual offender or whatever the other caveats are to that. Steve, it seems really strange to me that we have guys that beat people up, physical violence, send them to the hospital, and they're going to get what amounts to, I'm going to say this is what am I looking for here? A criminal grounding, right? That's it. Yeah. You supervise, you're on probation and 100 hours of community service. This is like me saying you can't go see your friends for a couple of months and you're going to help me do the dishes after dinner every night.
Yeah. So, Chris, I lived a lucky, soft life, and I am happy to admit on the radio that the last fight of any kind I had was in middle school.
Yeah.
And I took a punch in the nose, and then I threw one punch back, and it was over. So, for me, physical violence...
Did you hear that, Pablo? He threw one punch, and it was over.
Well, I'm not saying it was over. I'm saying the situation was over.
Did you hear that?
Don't tell Pablo.
That's how Pablo fights, too. He's like, one punch, it's over.
No, Pablo doesn't take a punch, then it's over. It's like,
he doesn't.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying.
So physical violence for me is anathema. It's just something where it's like, I'm not seeing it. And so when you make a conscious decision to beat people up and hurt them, and this is not a fist fight where people are face to face and let's see where it goes.
Certainly not a fair fight either.
That's it. Yeah. So for me, when it becomes this and it's an attack, we talk about essentially a grounding, I'm pretty disgusted by that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. If this is a mano-a-mano, I'll meet you out back, 2 guys who just going to, listen, more testosterone than brains, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes guys do this. If it's a fair fight and somebody doesn't beat someone else ridiculously, then I'm sort of the opinion that, hey, man, you lost. I'm not going to throw that guy in jail because he won. That's not the case. But that isn't what this is at all.
Not even close.
These were ambushes. Yeah. These were 3+ on 1. This was recorded to post on the internet.
And were all of these premeditated?
Yeah.
Because then that to me adds a higher level of, you shouldn't just be grounded.
Especially when it came to one of the beatings was Richard Keener's son, who I believe, did we get confirmation yet? Is Keener going to be on tonight? Pablo? Okay, they're still waiting on confirmation. I know they reached out to see if Richard Keener, who has been on with Outspoken numerous times, they're trying to see if they get him in here tonight to be able to talk about this and sort of his reaction as well. I mean, some of these people, their kids had to be sent to different countries because they didn't feel safe. Yeah. The Gilbert Goons wanted to send a ripple of fear through the community. That was their entire goal. And now they get probation and community service. There are gang members right now that got time that didn't actually do anything but associate with other gang members, and they get wrapped up in things like RICO. And we go, well, you were with them, so off you go.
So Gilbert Goons is not the same as MS-13. Is that the?
No, but they're a street gang.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's they're treated totally differently. Yeah.
It's funny you say that. So let me pitch this to you, Steve. I'm going to pitch your own idea back to you because this is the idea that Steve pitched earlier. Hey, suppose this story were not about affluent kids in Gilbert, but instead we're telling a story about a black kid in Sofo who's in a gang and beats some rando with brass knuckles. Do you think that black kid in South Phoenix who's a member of a gang gets 100 hours of community service and a little probation? No way.
I don't know.
No way. They're going to say, oh, we got to keep the streets safe, and the only safe place for you is behind bars. But these people came from an affluent area.
Yeah.
Some of them have affluent parents, and they get...
Yeah, that's why for a while, and I don't know, Chris, whether it was ever absolutely confirmed that there was any arm twisting going on behind the scenes, but it's almost like, well...
Always suspected, never confirmed.
Our kids deserve a second chance because, we have connections, basically, and we don't want to wreck their lives now, which I'm all for. But,
we'd hate to wreck your reelection.
Yeah, so it's troublesome if there are real connections there, yeah.
Yeah, I have some real problems with that.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe, and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.